What's up, text message members? Welcome to this week's tip. We're talking run defense.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
And as we dive in, the playbook that I'm using is actually the playbook that I wrote the ebook on. It's a defensive ebook. So if you want to pick up the ebook, you can get it in the description if you haven't already gotten access to that. And that's got some more stuff in it. But what we're talking specifically about today is run defense. And run defense this year is really hard. I mean, there's really no other words to describe it. Depending on the run, if your opponent can pick the right run, he's gonna be able to be successful. And in this year's game, more so than last year's game, I feel like blitzing doesn't really stop the run. Okay, it kind of contains it, but it doesn't really stop it. And there's a couple of runs that are really prominent. This is kind of the bottom line to it, is that there's really only a couple different types of runs that you're going to come across. Okay, the first one is the QB draw. The second one is the stretch. Okay, the third one is the dive or the inside zone. And the fourth one, in my opinion, the fourth most popular one is something like a read option or an RPO or even a counter. So there's really a couple of popular run plays. Now, most of the best run plays in the game come from the Las Vegas offensive playbook. Okay, so we're going to load into practice mode with Lamar Jackson, with the Baltimore Ravens, and on defense, we're going to use the Green Bay Packers. In my opinion, the Green Bay Packers are the best team in head-to-head, specifically against teams that like to run the ball. And again, we're going to be using Baltimore. Okay? Now, like I said, there's a couple key types of runs that you're going to face. You have to understand that, whether it be from I-form tight, whether it be from shotgun 4 to 5 wide receivers. You're going to face outside zone, inside zone, QB draw, power O, and probably some type of counter. You have to realize where those runs attack and what is the number one run people want to run. Well, the number one run that people want to run is the stretch. That's what everybody wants to run. It's probably the most effective way to run, and we're going to start with that. Now, stretch from, what's nice about this run defense is it does come from the, oh, dang it, did we grab the wrong, for some reason we grabbed the wrong defense. I think I might have accidentally forgot to grab the right defense. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out, we're going to grab it. But what people are going to want to do is they're going to want to run stretch. And again, stretch works differently depending on the formation that you face. And actually, what I think we'll do is we'll use the Dallas Cowboys just for fun. But we're going to go Las Vegas. And then on defense, we'll just kind of come in with the multi-D here. And then on this side of the ball, like I said, you can use a lot of different teams, but in my opinion, the Packers are the best. The Seahawks are okay. But overall this year, I feel like it's the blocking that's harder to. I think blocking is actually better in this game than it was in last year's game. Ball carry moves may not be as good, though. So people want to stop. People want to stop the stretch run. And depending on what defense or what formation they run, this defense is going to contain pretty much every stretch in the game. I haven't found a stretch in the game that really dominates this run defense. And we're going to start with I-form. And we'll just start with I-form close stretch, but we can go dive into others as well. But basically in your coaching adjustments, that's what I want you to do. For coaching adjustments, you want to have auto flip on, auto alignment defense. I like to have that to base aligned. So these two right here, option defense is conservative. And then from there, you can do your standard adjustments. Flats at 5 yards, curl flats at 20, hooks at 5, and then option defense there. And for these two, I like to keep these unbalanced this year. You could put tackling on aggressive, but in my opinion, hit sticks don't really do much for you anyway. And so there's two run defenses we're going to go over, but the first one is the big nickel over G. And just make sure that you're subbing in your fast corners on the outside. So I like Holman here. Nickerson here, Kevin King and Jackson here, Jair Alexander here. And then down in here, I got Savage and I got Adrian Amos. On the line of scrimmage, I make sure that you have Kenny Clark at one of your nose tackles. And then from there, you can kind of fill people in as you would like. Now, this run defense is just cover two man. There's nothing else to it. You can do it out of zone as well, but cover two man is what we're going to start with. All we're going to do is we're going to come out and we're going to pinch the defense and we're going to show blitz. That's it. That's literally all the setup that we need to do. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to take both safeties and put them into purple zones. Now, you can man align and do this as well if you want them to kind of come in if you're facing like a compressed set. So make sure, and you do need to be in the slot cornerback package just to do this. Basically, what I'm going to do is I am going to kind of set the A gap right here and manually blitz my guy. Make sure you crash your line out, and I'm just going to run through the A gap. So snap the ball, and you'll see here there's going to be a window that's going to open up. Now, depending on, and you might just, you know what, for run defense purposes, you might just want to spy your guy as opposed to blitz him. So if you know they're going to be running the ball, you might just want to spy him. But like I said, cover two man. I form close, and we'll run this stretch to start out with. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to man a line, pinch my defense, show blitz, crash my line up, and then from there, the safeties, depending on how much running they're doing, I will normally put them in curl flat zones. Normally going to put them in curl flats. And then I'm going to put my user in a spy here. Now, you can stand here, and basically you're going to hold R1. And at the snap of the ball, you're going to kind of run through the A gap, basically. And again, if you blitz him, you don't have to do as much running, in my opinion, as you do if you spy him. If you spy him, you kind of have to manually run through it on your own. But you'll see you kind of get right in here, snap the ball, and you see how you can kind of run through the gap. Now, what I'm going to try to do is show you a little bit about the R1 trick that you can do. R1 basically is like defensive assist. I personally like the pass commit too out of this, but I'm going to hold R1, snap the ball, and that's where you see how he runs through right there. That's what I'm looking for every single time. This is gonna basically negate most stretch runs in the game. Let me show you what happens here. So you're gonna see he's just kind of sitting right in here. See how the guard doesn't go with him, and then you're basically able to run him down from behind. This is a very, very consistent reality, okay? And the way that happened is basically what I did is I blitzed my user. I crashed my line out. I blitzed my user up the A gap, and then I'm going to hold R1 kind of right in this little pocket right here. And you see that's going to kind of bring him through here. So snap of the ball again. I'm just holding R1. You see, if I just hold R1, that's all I did. I'm literally only holding the R1 button pre-snap. For whatever reason, in my opinion, it just helps a little bit with the run D. It allows you kind of a gap to be able to run through. See here, holding R1, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get through, but he does. And essentially what's going to happen is the purple zones from the safeties, are basically going to, what we're doing here, show your blitz, there we go. The purple zone from the safeties is basically going to contain anything outside. Oftentimes, once he gets through the line of scrimmage, you can just run it down. There you see he did get outside on me. But this is something to realize. This is kind of what we're looking for. So now what you'll know is basically as a user, if you put him in a QB spy, you can manually run through this gap fairly consistently. So snap of the ball, and you're just going to wait for just a second, and then come through. And as you see here with the spy, oftentimes they'll kind of pick up on him for whatever reason. But anyway, that's stretched right. Now, if they flip it and run it to the left side, you see you can run right through the gap very, very easily. You see that right there. So you can run through the gap pretty much either way. You don't actually have to put the safeties down there if you don't want to. I just think it helps a little bit with the contain, because as you see here, if they get a block on your guy, it can be a little bit of an issue. One thing you can do to help that is basically if you know they're going to run stretch to the right, if you crash your line to the right, you see here, it's a lot easier of a run of a lane to run through. Just like that, if they run left, let me show you that. So here I'm crashing my line to the left. You see, we're able to kind of get. That time I got hung up a little bit. But when you take your safety and show blitz on this play, this is what's really important for you to understand. So when you show blitz and you put these two outside purple zones like this right here, and one thing that I like to do personally is I like to take that right slot, put him in a purple zone, and if I can get that tight end manned up, just like this right here. This is what you want it to look like, because you have a purple zone on both sides of the field. That's going to allow them to kind of space out, and then like I said, you're just going to run through the gap with your user. So now you've taken stretch left and you've taken stretch right, practically away from them, um, and there's really nothing that they can do. See here, something just like this right here. Now in this situation, like I said, if you get time, if you can, I would man up the tight end and throw the slot in the zone. But this will allow you to really run through the A gap and grab those stretches on both sides. Now what if they run like dive? Not as worried about the dive because you do have the pinch, and Kenny Clark does have inside stuff. But basically, if they run dive, you can still get through the gap. You can still very easily get through the gap. You can't get through it as easily as you can with the stretch, unfortunately. But overall, if you got the purple zone out there, and then maybe on the right side, like I said, you've got two purple zones. So these guys are both expanding, taking away anything wide. Snap of the ball. You see how you can kind of blow it up. See that right there with your user. So that's what's really nice to me about this run defense. And if you wanted to, if you know they're running dive, you could always spy that safety. Um, and like I said, you see here, we're just gonna run right through, and we're gonna be able to kind of blow it up. And honestly, if we wanted to, you actually can stop this run um, with your user. Just kind of go left, right. You see, if you go left, the fullback's going to run all the way to the left, and what that's going to do is it's going to basically pull the fullback out of the lane and allow the running back or basically everybody else to clean up. So if I come in here, just run left. You see that right there. So what'll happen is, what'll oftentimes happen is they'll try to cut it to the right. So what I would recommend doing when you run through the gap, when you shoot the gap, basically run through, shoot right, and force him to cut back. But again, and you can actually, it's hard to show with two controllers, but if they are, if they're running this dive, snap of the ball, you run through, whoops, and you do have to be kind of mindful of that positioning of your player. If you get too close with your user, it does not always allow you to get the shoot, but you want to be like kind of right a couple, just maybe a yard or two off, but snap of the ball, and then you can kind of like see right there. See how I'm saying? You can kind of lure the running back into you if you want to. So if you really work at this shoot, um, but all in all, guys, let me show you real quick here. Let's say that I do dive. You see here, I'm able to kind of contain the dive. I'm boxing the stretch completely with this, and we'll show you this is not just this formation. So we'll show you a couple other sets as well. One of the more popular ones is the single back wing flex close. So we'll show you that real quick. We'll show you the stretch first. Big nickel, cover two man, pinch show blitz. And basically, you want to user the guy on the left side, or on the weak side, basically, and kind of bring him down right in here. Snap the ball, and you see you're going to kind of contain, as you can see right here, just kind of slows it down. And oftentimes, like I said, you're going to be able to kind of shoot the gap with Amos. You're just going to kind of be right here, snap the ball. You're going to kind of shoot in. Now that time the center does do a better job from this formation, a little bit better of a job with this one. But you can, let's see here, and this one does a little bit better of a job of kind of setting the edge a little bit though, One thing you will want to do is when you crash them out. I didn't tell you this ahead of time, but do contain. Do go ahead and contain. That contain will help a little bit with the spacing of everything. It'll help them hold their edges a little bit. You see this runs a little bit better, so you have to do a little bit more to stop it. And then you want to have these guys in their zones. Here we show the blitz. And there you see, there we go. If as long as he doesn't break that tackle, we pretty much have him. And one thing I would say that I do like to do is take that deep safety. Whoever, in a case of a big time run set like this, I may sometimes take that deep safety down and shoot with him, shoot the gaps with him, so that these linebackers are kind of in the vicinity for run support. Again, if we can make some tackles, we would easily, have that contained to 1 or 2 yards. But we will show you one thing real quick after this play right here. I just want to show you one more time, and then we're going to show you something with this and how you can kind of show you how you can basically create your own run defenses. So basically, what we want to do, especially in the way Madden 21 works, Madden 21 is all about shooting the gaps to stop the run, gap control, gap integrity. So you see here, you see the blocking. See that blocking that 19 is doing? See that right there? That to me is causing issues, and that's really what causes the issue. So what I've got to do is figure out how do I get Amari Cooper to stop blocking me on this play. So basically, we'll do that. Contain. We'll crash, and this time instead of crashing out, we're going to crash to the right. And what you'll see here, and that time they let him come free. So we're getting a little closer, and you just kind of keep working on it. Um, every formation is a little bit different in terms of how you can approach it, but and sometimes your shoots will come from different gaps. So, like for example, from what's from two, um, where's a running back in the backfield, it's like a fullback. That shoots a little bit different. So, like right here, what you're seeing is we can probably shoot either in the middle, or I can come right through here, as you can see, and shoot it. So those are things that you just have to be aware of as you go through the formations. So if you're facing something like this, now I know, okay, it's going to be better. And if you kind of sit right here and just kind of find your opening, oftentimes what you don't want to do is you don't want to get kind of held up like that. But the main formations that I've seen a lot of people running from is either I form or single back as far as stretch goes. With the two, when they come out in anything I form, like strong eye, weak eye, any of that stuff, you stand over the center and you'll be just fine. If they're coming out in something like this right here, if you stand over the center, snap of the ball, and then you're just going to kind of come right in through here, as you can see. So you do have to, you do want to be kind of cognitive and aware of where you're shooting and why you're shooting in that direction. So like right here, if I run to the left, you see here, I could probably get through the A gap. So it does kind of vary and depend a little bit based off of the type of run that you're seeing. So like if they flip it to the left, snap of the ball here, I can almost get through there. I didn't that time. Um, but I can almost get through on the left side. So kind of be right in here, snap of the ball, and you see here I can come in just like I did on the other side. So now I know enough to know that when I see single back, it's more of a guard shoot than it is a center shoot. All right, when you know where to shoot, which gap you're going to be able to come in on, and that time we missed the shoot. And this does take a little practice, but as you do it, you're going to get a lot. You're going to get very, very used to it. And with show blitz, it makes everything easier, in my opinion, because your box count is a little bit higher, as you see there. And the box count being higher does change, the targeting of the linemen and where they block. That will change based off of that. So when you have the purple zones out there and you are pass committing, snap of the ball, you see there that time the center shoot opened up for us. So just kind of, I would say you just have to kind of test it out a little bit, and we'll show you all the running sets. But when you put these guys down with something like this, See there, right there. There's that shoot that I'm talking about. That center shoot. So that's center shoot to the right. And literally, that's the only change that I made is I showed blitz, and I put that corner on that right side into a purple, and now they have to block him. And because they have to block him, that's one less person that can stop me right here. So I'm able to shoot stretch on the right. You'll see in just a moment that I'm going to be able to shoot stretch on the left as well. The key is that show blitz feature, get those safeties in the purple zones, and shade coverage outside over top, which you see here, shoot to the left, snap of the ball. And I was a little bit delayed there, but you see, we're going to be much more better off, in my opinion, trying to stop this baby to the left. So I want to be kind of like right, like I said, like right in here. And there's the shoot that I'm talking about. So pretty much you can shoot A gap on both levels of it. Now, what if they motion a tight end, right? What if they motion like Schultz over to the left? Actually, let me reset that. Let me playmaker to the left. So what if they go like trips left? Yeah, there we go, just like that. You see, I'm going to be kind of right in this pocket, just like I'm supposed to be. My job is to come through the middle, snap of the ball, and you see it's almost worse. I get much better response from my players because they're engaging in the blocks and they're keeping the contain. So that's pretty much stretch. Zone weak, you'll see. I think zone weak, it kind of leaves the running back. The shoots are a little bit more open with zone weak, at least in my opinion. It's kind of open in two different levels. So you'll see here, let me get the purples out there, but snap of the ball. See, there's that targeting that I'm talking about. It's just hard to find lanes. You know, you're going to be able to contain zone weak both ways. As much as I love that run myself, people just don't know how to run it. And so what's going to happen is they're going to try running it to the right. And you see here, I mean, they do get the, you can't shoot middle like you could from stretch, right? So once you see zone weak, once you see that they're in zone weak, snap the ball up, and then you just got to kind of contain that little left side gap so that you're containing your help can come back on the opposite side. So like right here, snap ball. Oh, I see that. Okay, I'm gonna come over here and just keep contained, and we'll hold it to 3 or 4 yards. And there actually is like a, see if you see how if I kind of, the trick is to be back far enough, but not too far to where you've taken yourself out of the shoot opportunity. So like right in here, snap of the ball, and you see there inside stuff combined with your shooting ability, you're going to blow up zone weak. We'll show you this away. Same thing kind of right in here, about a yard to 2, maybe 3 yards off at the most. Snap of the ball, and you see you can't shoot the zone weak like you can the stretch, but you can get very close, and you're going to have a lot more help on zone weak than you are on the stretch. Because it's a little bit more of an inside base run play. But if you see, oh, zone weak, oh, I know I got to get over here. And I got to meet the running back in the lane and make the tackle. I didn't make it right there, but with practice, with repetition, you'll make this tackle. So snap, up, okay. And we'll just kind of contain right in there, as you can see. So that's zone weak, that's stretch from 2 back and from 1 back. Let me show you HB dive real quick. Man. So again, I'm going to be right in here. Make sure I show blitz to get those run fits. Snap with the ball. And most of the time, dive from a single back is not good because the fullback, like the shoot lanes are going to be wide open for you. And so the fullback normally would help with that. In this example, it's going to be automatic hit stick. As you can see right there, I'm walking right through. I'm walking right through it. Left side, pretty much the same thing. As you see, we're able to blow that up as well. So, dive out of single back really doesn't affect me too much. If I'm in this defense, snap of the ball, and then I'm just running through. And again, that time I was probably a little bit too close. Part of the key to this is being back far enough that they don't target you. As you can see right there, I'm getting targeted for whatever reason. Part of that is also because I'm not putting my safeties in zones. You really do need to put your safeties in zones. I'm just trying to save a little bit of time here. There, safeties in zones, run through, we'll make the dive tackle. So that's stretch, that's dive from one back in from two back. And now what I wanted to do is I wanted to spin just a quick second here on fullback dive. If I can find a fullback dive, let me see here. Strong tight. I don't know if I have one. We'll go goal line fullback dive then from Las Vegas. Same kind of thing. You're gonna be about 3 yards off. Snap of the ball, and you see that the center is able to kind of come down on you just like that right there. Make sure you're showing blitz too. Yeah, we're kind of close. With fullback dive, it's a little bit different. What I would do is blitz both of these guys straight down just like this, and just take this guy right here and kind of drag him right in this position, snap of the ball, and now you can run right through, as you can see. So you can blow up fullback dive on the goal line with, relatively, simple defense. Basically a 4-2-5 look here with something like this right here, snap of the ball. You run straight through with Jackson there. I missed my shoot, but if you don't miss it, like I said, you can run right through with this. Pinch defense, show blitz, take this guy, bring him right down in here. I would blitz all the linebackers, and I would honestly either crash the line down or I'd crash the line out. Kind of up to you. Put your purple zones off the outside, snap of the ball, and you see we're able to block. We're able to lock up fullback dive to the left. Let's see if we can lock it up to the right. Fullback dive is obviously a little harder to stop in the backfield, but and there you see we're able to box it in the backfield. So you can stop fullback dive, and this is what's really cool to me is I can stop pretty much every run with this run defense right here. Snap the ball, just run through, and you see we're able to box it either way. Now for goal line, you're going to get a lot of people that are going to go, oh, well, I'm just going to run power O, because why? Of course you're blitzing everybody middle to try to stop this run play. Well, snap the ball, and what you'll see is obviously, as you can see there, power O did open up. So I do want to talk a little bit about, what do you do with power O from a goal line perspective. So let's take a look at this real quick. Snap the ball. You see, if I just go to the right, if I just kind of shoot flow to the right with that point guard, I can kind of mess that up. There we go. I almost had that. But yeah, basically you're still going to keep that same shoot that you were doing from the fullback dive, which is nice because now it's consistent. One defense basically stops everything, right? But basically you're going to get right back in here just like this, snap of the ball. You're coming right through here, and just missed him. But you do need to practice this. Like I said, I would go into practice mode. One of the new drills I'm thinking of kind of doing for myself is running all my run defenses before I go into game, just to kind of refresh. Because I'm telling you right now, if you haven't seen a lot of runs, you're getting ready to. You're going to see people run the ball. Snap of the ball, just kind of flow right in here. Basically, what we're trying to do is shoot that A gap and run it down, because that's going to be a consistent shoot with the fullback. But my question is, and this would be great because we could get the goal line D stop. But basically, if that doesn't work, Snap of the ball. You can kind of almost get out of there. Now let's take a look at this in instant replay and kind of show you what's going on in this run defense. But as you see here, I mean, it stops pretty much everything except something like this. And because you see you get that pin right there, and you get that right there. You see I can kind of shoot the middle. The problem is where the handoff takes place. And with that point guard, it really does help out a lot. So what we need to do is shoot almost, be able to get more of a push to that outside. So let's try one different shoot real quick for the goal line. And what we're going to do is we're going to crash our line to the right. Still the same shoot, really. Snap the ball, run right through. Yep, we're able to get that shoot for the power O. So if we crash line to the right, that's going to stop. That's going to stop power O right. I don't know if that'll stop power O to the left, though. Yep, we're able to get that with our standard pressure. So we're able to stop power O right and left with this set, or with this look here. Now, if they run sting, we're able to get that. For the most part, we're able to get that. As you can see, rally tackling on that left side. I know we'll be able to get the toss because we're not run committing. So we're going to sting, we're going to playmaker to the right, snap the ball, and looks like our inside stuff will take care of sting. Okay, so we pretty much got the run box from the goal line. Even for those, short yardage situations, maybe fourth down situations, you're going to be able to kind of live and die by this run defense. What I would say, what you'd want to do with Savage is you do want to kind of angle, or whoops, I'm sorry, I messed up on that shoot right there. But you want to kind of angle right there, just like that, and you're going to be able to get that. You're going to be able to very easily get that shoot on the fullback dive to the left. And then you'll see here, if they run fullback dive to the right, I can kind of get in there. It's a little bit more muddy if they run it to the right, but there is still a lane. There we go. So you see, you're able to box fullback dive, you're able to box power O, you're able to box. I mean, you're able to basically stop every run. Yep, right there. So you're basically handling every major run somebody's going to do. You're going to be able to handle fullback dive, power O, all of those run plays. And we're going to talk about shotgun runs now. Actually, real quick before we do that, I want to show you one other run from under center. We'll show it to you from strong tight. So strong tight, and the play is the counter weak. And you'll see right here, for the most part, the counter is not a big deal. Like I said, you're just going to take that weak side guy, bring him down, put your purples out there like you're supposed to, snap the ball, counter weak, and oftentimes you're going to be able to blow this up in the backfield for a loss, as you can see right there. So you've taken care of counter, you've taken care of stretch. Let me remind you, the stretch D, take your opposite guy. It's the same exact shoot, basically, but you want to be right about back here. Snap of the ball. And when they hand the ball off, what you want to do is you want to click your right joystick in as well once you get your shoot through. And if you're able to make the shoot, great. If not, by clicking that R1 in, that's going to help everybody else. So snap of the ball. And there you see there's that shoot that we're talking about. So that's the stretch, the dive, or I'm sorry, the counter weak. We'll show you the dive real quick. And this is all while playing fairly, normal run D. And from strong tight, the dive should never be an issue for you. As you can see right there, should never be an issue. I form close, I form tight, I form whatever. Now those are the better ways to run dive this year. So those are all of the under center running plays, at least the ones that you're going to have to deal with the most. Let me see here. I want to show you I form H tight real quick, and we'll show you the power O. See, with power O, when you're doing it from just a 2 tight end set as opposed to a goal line, you're going to be a little bit more able to shoot with your guy here. See how I'm able to get back in the backfield. And again, by clicking that right stick in, one of the things you do want to do when you're doing that 2 down, when you're doing that 2 back run D, make sure you're containing everything. The contains will help a little bit with the contain edges, but as you see here, I can get up in the mud of the play fairly easily. The one trick of it is kind of timing your shoot with where they're going. So if I see power O, I'm gonna come through. I know I got to get out here and contain this. And there's really no cutback lane. I mean, he's got to be really good to cut that back. But you can basically get in the backfield and kind of muddy it up, especially if you know, okay, power O. All right, let me get over here and help my team. And for the most part, yeah, you got 3 yards. You know what I mean? And I think there's even a way to get this, with this exact shoot. Part of the trick of it is keeping your shoot consistent, so you kind of know what to master. But there you see right there. And again, what I would recommend on these outside guys. One thing you could do, honestly, I don't know if this will work or not. You can kind of get those. We weren't able to do it right there. You can kind of get those safeties. Like I said, you want to get those safeties involved. So, like in this situation, you might take that deep safety and put him in a QB spy. That'll help just a little bit. But all in all, you can blitz them. I like the purple zones the best. I also like using the safety the best though too. I think that works a little bit better than using the linebacker, but if you do that, you have worse coverage. So, but all in all, guys, if you use the linebacker, you're pretty much going to be sitting pretty. I mean, there's really not a whole lot. They're as you see right there, we're going to be able to run right through and make the tackle with this. So, yeah. So that's 2 back, 1 back, goal line, all 3 with stretch, power O, dive, and ISO and blast. All right, let's talk about shotgun. So shotgun, we'll go over QB draw in a minute. I want to go over 2 big ones real quick. Let's see, we have ace, inside zone, power O, and we don't have outside zone deck on it. All right, we'll go over those 2 first though. So same formula basically. So this is inside zone. So same thing. Whichever side doesn't have the blitzer, you're going to go right in here just like so. Snap of the ball. And you'll see against inside zone, inside zone probably does the best, and that's why inside stuff is so important to have, in my opinion, to stop the run, because inside zone runs, if they know what they're doing, those are going to be the hardest in my opinion, at least so far this year. But basically, sit back here just like so, and effectively you're going to shed. You do notice from shotgun they do a little bit different, right? I mean, the shoots aren't quite the same. If you hide behind, as you see right there, see how I kind of hid behind the guard? That will basically, kind of get you in, get you through. So if I come right here, I can just hide right here, and I can go in and hit stick inside zone every time, whether I have inside stuff or not. Now, buck sweep or power O or counter, whatever the playbook calls it, a little bit different. So if I start in here, you see I can't get in there. If I try to go in there and shoot it, it's not going to work out very well for me. So what I've got to do, and this is where, you got to kind of understand a little bit about the shotgun run game. If I come over to the middle here, you see here, I can come in and I can pretty much make a play on that. So, with the shotgun run game, and one thing real quick on inside zone, if I'm this guy, you see I can't come in. I can only come in from the backside. So you want to be the backside guy in all situations. So for power O, effectively what you want to do, I don't know what Amos is doing. He should be over here. I'm gonna go right in here, kind of hide, snap of the ball. Oh, I see power O, and you see there's a little bit of a different method to it, but basically you're gonna see the power O, and you are going to run through and around. So through and around, and you got to get through before you go around. You got to get completely through the play before you go around the play. And it does take a little bit of practice. That's why I would suggest practicing this, trying this out, trying these shoots out. But come right through and around. As you see right there, you want to get through so the guard can't get you, and then you want to go make the tackle. The handoff animation for counter runs takes a long, long time. So you do have the luxury of time. Just get through it and then go and make a tackle. That's very, very, very important in my opinion. So we'll show you this real quick here again. Come through, and sometimes the guard will pick you up, as you see. I mean, sometimes the guard will pick you up, and they're going to be okay. But overall, I mean, even if they pick you up here, you can actually kind of just come out here and contain if you want to, just to be safe, and that'll be okay. Like I said, what I would rather you do is shoot, and I'd rather you kind of get in the mud here, get kind of hide like right in here, snap the ball, come through, and you see you're gonna kind of basically by you hiding in the beginning of the play allows you to be a very, very good asset during the play. And this is where I come back to saying, if you do use the safety, but if you shoot the gap too quick on these runs, just know, the guard is going to pick you up. But basically, if you don't, and this is where I say, that's why I say counter trap's the best run, because it's the hardest to shoot. Okay, but if you click the right stick in as soon as the play starts, um, you're going to be able to, you're going to be fine. Click the right stick in so that they come. When you click the right stick in, it actually is going to cue the offensive line to go pick up all those blitzers that you just cued in. So you're going to give yourself a little bit of an advantage. Like I said, snap the ball while I'm running through. I'm clicking in, and you see right there. And what you can do is you can wait for just a second just to kind of identify. So I'm just going to take a step in, wait, identify, and then go make the tackle. You can do that as well. That will help with this run. So this run is overall, one of the harder ones to stop in my opinion. Now, if I'm Adrian Amos in this scenario, you'll see right here, it's a much easier shoot. It's a much easier stop than if you're not. But, to be fair to inside zone, if I run inside zone and I kind of get right in here, I can shoot it, but it's still kind of muddy. But those are some shoots for inside and outside zone. I want to show you another formation real quick. Something you might see a little bit more commonly. So I've been getting a lot of questions about like tray flex. So we'll go over inside zone and outside zone. So first and foremost, inside zone, what do? To me, same thing. I'm going to be savage, snap of the ball, I'm going to run right through. And that time I just got held up just a little bit. But like right in here, see? Instant hit stick. Instant hit stick. For outside zone, should be basically the same thing. And you're going to go right here, snap the ball. And you see it does muddy up a little bit more on the outside zone, but by and large, it's basically the same shoot. Again, I want to be like kind of right in here, kind of hovering and hiding behind my guy, snap of the ball, and then I'm just kind of running downhill and flowing with the play, and we're going to be able to lock up outside zone. So that's outside zone, inside zone, and um, buck sweep or counter. Tray open. So like, what do you do if there's a point guard like base or 5-6 trap? Pretty much the same thing. I do want to show them to you though. So big nickel over G. And again, I'm going to use with that weak side guy, kind of put him right in this little pocket here, snap of the ball, and I can run right through and blow it up very easily. So that's base, that's 5-6 trap. All of those run plays are box. Just with this little, you're going to sit right here. He's going to snap the ball, and you can shoot right there, right through there, just like that. Okay, so that's every run that is not a QB draw. Now QB draw, we'll talk about it. And QB draw is not that much different. So we'll start with the 5 wide receiver trio. QB draw, in my opinion, the better version of it. So big nickel over G, cover 2 man. And let me just show you. So in this scenario, you're going to use your Savage. Snap of the ball. And you see right there, like, if he were to try to run the ball to the outside, he'd have the lane. Now, I want to sub in Dak real quick. I have a little bit more speed on the field. But basically, QB draw is fairly straightforward. Essentially, what I'm going to do is basically contain. That's honestly it. Contain and purples. So you see here, just like this right here. I'm going to kind of come in and hover right in here. Snap of the ball. QB draw. And we're going to roll. Now with QB draw, one thing I would recommend, if you crash your line to the middle instead of crashing them to the outside, what's going to mean is there's not going to be a middle running lane. And so what the quarterback's going to have to do is he's going to have to basically pick a side to go outside. So what I would recommend is, especially if they're a perennial QB drawer, then I would basically take this guy right here and blitz him, and then just man up that safety on that side, and then on the opposite side throw a purple out there, just like this right here. Snap of the ball, and you see how the gap opens up right there. See that right there? So you're going to be able to shoot effectively on both sides with that same thought process or theory. You're going to basically come right through the gap, and if he doesn't go to the right, go to the outside, you've got him. If he goes to the left, you've got the purple zone out there as well. One other thing you can do is basically take your 2 guys in the middle and spy them. And what you'll see in QB draw, how that defends it, actually does a really decent job of defending the edge runs. Doesn't do as good at stopping the middle of it. It's kind of hard to show you how to defend QB draw unless you're actually facing QB draw, because there's the human element of it. But just by simply, if you show blitz right here, this simple show blitz right here, this feature, this is going to take away the outside versions. And again, if you just kind of hang right there, you're going to basically be able to contain it very, very easily. So, that's pretty much what I would do if I were you. And I was trying to stop QB draw. I would purple both of these guys on the line of scrimmage. I'd take that other side guy, make sure everybody's manned up. So now right here, I got everybody manned up. I'm in the middle of the field. I'm watching that slot right here. Most of the time, they're not going to run into that. And if they do run into that, you're going to be fairly good on the edges. Um, QB draw is good this year, but it's just something to kind of monitor. Most people, if they run QB draw, my question is, can they pass from QB draw? And most of them can't. So you can pretty much sell out against the run, which means you can blitz those 2 slot corners right off the edge, and be able to stop it. Like I said, I think the trio is the best version. It gets the best blocking, in my opinion, because of the spreadness of the formation. But I mean, you'll see right here, like we're sitting at 6, but we got everybody manned up. I know my job at the snap of the ball is to come down. Oh no, and then okay, you know what I mean. I can basically kind of maneuver that a little bit. Let me show you really quickly what this is going to mean if they try to just run it. And this is why I say to contain. So if I try to just run left here, watch, I'm running right into somebody. If I try to run just right, I'm going to run into somebody. And it's almost like it's almost one of those things that would almost be better if you did it from cover three. Like something like this right here, just basic coverage. But if I try to run right, you'll see I'm gonna get hit. If I try to run, and if I try to run middle, I'm running into the teeth of the defense. And most of the time, it doesn't show it as much in practice mode because sheds, in my opinion, aren't as good from the running game perspective. But you will get some sheds that way. If they go to bunch quads, real quick, if they go to bunch quads and they try to run the same run play, you'll see to the right side it will be a little bit more effective. But if they run to the right, I want you to basically just come with them. As you can see, you can basically run the play down if they try to get outside to the right. So that's QB draw defense. That's pretty much every defense that I use to stop the run. You can do a lot of it from Big Nickel. It's what makes Big Nickel so effective. Hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. Let me know if you have any other further questions about anything. Just shoot me a text. I want to tell you I appreciate you guys, and we'll get you a better, even better tip next week. So thanks for your time.